8-year assault on your Second Amendment freedoms has come to a crashing end. I like taking the guns early. Take the guns first, go through due process second. Well, I say go fuck yourself. Then ask a question, could I kill a man? I would enjoy myself. You can't disguise evil eyes that burn up my head. This devil man and his master plan. We feel so misled, so I say, rise up, take it all back. Rise up, take it all back. Rise up. Hope you all understand. We got to take it all back again. These people are not going to take it any longer. We will never give up. We will never concede. Our country has had enough. We will not take it anymore. But you have to go home now. We have to have peace. So go home. We love you. You're very special. But go home and go home in peace. The demonstrators who infiltrated the Capitol have defiled the seat of American democracy. You do not represent our country. And to those who broke the law, you will pay.
Hit the wrong dang button. Yeah, I did. It's all right. I'm live. What's up, everybody? How you doing, Broken Patriot? How you doing, Riddle? I know Riddle's here because she's in the room.
Yeah, I am.
So, hello. I hope everybody had a good evening and a good day. Mine was not very productive. Unfortunately, I haven't been feeling great. Hurt a rib, or ribs, plural. And ever since, anything too far, I breathe too hard, I take a bump too hard. It's I hate that shit. But I had a great conversation with Daniel last night. We're going to be going to a Mexican restaurant that I've never been to before, and I'm very excited about that. That will be happening this Saturday. So this Saturday, we will not be having a Patriot Bible chat. I haven't decided if I'm going to reschedule it, but probably not, because usually my schedule is pretty busy as it is with streaming, and I think I stream too much as it is. So probably will not have the Patriot. You all right over there, Riddle?
Yeah, I got trapped by a box. I'm sorry.
So we probably won't have the Patriot Bible chat this Saturday. I will let you know tomorrow if there is any change in that, because we will be going to dinner with my good friend Daniel. And it's been a long time since we did that. I actually wanted to take him shooting too. We never got around to that. I think he could really use it. So I might discuss that while we're at dinner and set up a time to go shooting with Daniel. I think that'd be cool. Other than that, plans, I still got to get up a couple more security cameras. So I got this really good deal at Sam's Club for a Swan security system. And it has 8 cameras, 6 of which are all the same. And there's 2 that are different. And they look like they can, they can move. Unfortunately, they do not move. I don't understand why you give me something that looks like it can move, but it doesn't. Did she hurt me? We get a little wild. Oh my goodness. So yeah, other than that, it hasn't been too exciting. I do plan on buying the flag that Irish talked about on the morning muster. I'm not going to talk about it here because, dang it, I want to be the first in my circle anyway to have it. It's not going to be hanging up behind me. To be honest, I think I want to have it hanging out in the front porch, but it's going to be pretty cool. It's a black flag, black American flag. You plead the 5th. Okay, well, that's good. All right. So, breaking news. We all knew that they found some human remains in Florida. I think it was Florida. And they thought it might be Brian Laundrie. I never followed the story. I don't care about a pretty white rich girl who her husband killed her. I mean, he came back from a trip without her. He did it. That was it. I didn't give a shit other than that. But apparently they found him. So let's go ahead and see what the alert is all about.
Fox News alert, a major update in the Gabby Petito case. The FBI confirming that the remains found yesterday in Florida are indeed Brian Laundrie's. All right, let's take this around the table. Dagan, surprised?
Not surprised. How they were discovered was a little fishy.
Yes.
They said that they had been the area had been underwater, and then the water receded, and they discovered the belongings, and now his body. What's unfortunate for Gabby Petito's family is he will never face a jury. There will never be punishment for this. He's dead, and there's no prosecution.
Oh, wait, let's go to Phil Keating. He might have some information. Phil, you there?
Yeah, world sucks.
I am here. I did confirm earlier this late afternoon that the skeletal remains were actually just bones. That's what the human remains were, but at that point we still did not know the identity of whose bones they were. Then about 5:15 across town over at the Laundrie home, an unmarked car pulled up. A couple of FBI agents went in for about 3 or 4 minutes, and then just minutes ago, the FBI Denver, which has been leading the FBI's investigation due to its proximity and control over the happenings in Wyoming, where Gabby Petito's body was discovered, they tweeted out, and I will quote to you exactly what they wrote. A comparison of dental records confirmed that the human remains found are those of Brian Laundrie. Steve Bertolino, the often quoted attorney for the parents, Chris and Roberta Laundrie, has also put out a short note saying the parents have been notified. We have no further comment at this time. Please respect their privacy. So the national manhunt for Brian Laundrie is now officially over. It was, in fact, his human remains found here yesterday inside the nature park where he had been told by his mom and dad to the FBI that this is where he went off for a hike, as he frequently did, 2 days after Gabby Petito was finally reported missing up in Suffolk County, New York, by her mother after not hearing from her for weeks and weeks. And of course, Brian Laundrie returned home from that big summer-long road trip out west at all the national parks without Gabby Petito. What he told his parents to explain why she was gone, nobody knows. But the family did go camping following weekend up outside of Tampa, and they've been under investigation, but they probably won't be charged at all now that their son is dead, and there's no way to contradict anything they had shared.
Wow.
But Brian Laundrie is dead.
That's interesting. So they think the parents might be involved? I mean, obviously husband kills wife. That's an old story. But you get his family involved too? Like, were they did they help plan it? Did they just try to help cover it up? Yeah. That's the flag, Bikes. It's really nice too. It's not one of these thin $5 flags. It's a $50 flag. $50. But it's stitched, and it's not printed, and it looks really, really good, and hopefully it'll last outside. I'm gonna have to secure it pretty well, I would imagine. I don't have a flag pole per se, but I do have a porch with one of those things you stick a stick into that jettisons a flag out at an angle. And that's how I plan to put it, right next to the Come Back with a Warrant doormat. By the way, the Come Back with a Warrant doormat is an affiliate link. The flag won't be because it's not on Amazon. You might be able to get one on Amazon, but not. I don't know about the one that I'm looking at. What's up, Gerald and Anonymous? I bet a gator got him. He probably offed himself. I mean, he's guilty as shit. You got to understand, if you think logically at all, which he obviously wasn't when he killed her in the first place. I guess he choked her to death. She must have pissed him off. But it's always the husband. You can't come back from a trip without her and yeah, well, I guess she just went her own way home. That doesn't work. Broken for sure. I was in one of G Mango's chat discussing the Laundrie case a week and a half ago and told his panel that Laundrie would be found deceased. I got some hate. I would have taken you up. I mean, I would have put money on your side on that one. Who can? That was a national story. Like, there was rewards out for him, and everybody heard this story but me. I mean, I kind of heard about it just because everybody else was talking about it. So his face is plastered everywhere. If he wasn't dead, they would have found him, or somebody would have turned him in. Brenda says hi right back. Awesome. Just my gut on that. You think he offed himself? Yeah. Bingo. I think so as well. Yeah, same. Absolutely same. I think that he knew that he was going to spend the rest of his life in jail. There was no way he was going to get out of it. As soon as her family decided to say, yeah, she's actually missing because what he said is bullshit, he knew it was only a matter of time. Do you want to live the rest of your life in prison, or do you want to just quick off yourself? I never understood that. I don't think I'd off myself. But I don't go around killing people for no reason either, or very little. All right, the NIH confirms Fauci lied under oath about gain-of-function research. Richard E. Bright, molecular biologist at the National Institute of Health, posted a letter contradicting Anthony Fauci's previous testimony that the NIH had not funded gain-of-function research at the Wuhan Institute of Virology. NIH corrects untruthful assertions by NIH Director Collins and NIAID Director Fauci that NIH had not funded gain-of-function research in Wuhan. NIH states that EcoHealth Alliance violated terms and conditions of an NIH grant. October 20th letter stated that the NIH money was granted to the EcoHealth Alliance and was subawarded to the Wuhan lab. Republicans, including Senator Tom Cotton, responded to the bombshell by calling for Fauci to be investigated and prosecuted. In a letter, Ebright said the money funded a research project starting in 2018 that tested if spike proteins from naturally occurring bat sniffles circulated in China were capable of binding to the human ACE2 receptor in a mouse model. The researchers on the project did find that laboratory mice infected with the SHC014 bat sniffle became sicker than those infected with the WIV1 bat sniffle. Ebright explained that by not reporting the protein spike, the EcoHealth Alliance violated the terms and conditions of the grant. Out of abundance of caution, as an additional layer of oversight, language was included in the terms and conditions of the grant awarded to EcoHealth that outline criteria for a secondary review, the NIH said. Such a requirement that the grantee report immediately a 1 log increase in growth. The measure put in place required by a secondary review pending any serious findings to determine whether the research was safe and if the goals of the project should have been revisited. EcoHealth Alliance did not report its findings, thereby violating the terms of the grant. The letter from the NIH does note that the sniffles that were being studied are distantly related to SARS or the Sniffles 19 and are likely to have mutated. This finding will likely put fibbing Fauci back in the hot seat, as it shows he lied under oath about his knowledge of the gain-of-function research. Fauci has not made a statement regarding these findings as of this writing. Oh, it's going to get good. We're going to be in for some fireworks if he goes on Capitol Hill. Well, Brian Laundrie found dead. What about you, Fauci? What do you want to do about it? Oh my goodness. What's up, OMG? How you doing? I didn't miss it tonight. Yes, you didn't. Thank you for being here. I hope all is well with you and that you're getting your money. And also preparing, because there's a lot of shit going on in the world right now. Doesn't hurt to get a couple extra things at the grocery store when you can. Learn a new skill that might be relevant in a grid down situation. Count it as a hobby. That's what I do with canning, right? We can all the time, ferment, right? It's prepping, but it's also a hobby. I enjoy doing it. I enjoy the science behind it. So I'm looking forward to that. Fauci on the hot seat. That'd be great. Now, I don't know. I don't usually read natural news. Irish USMC vet reads a lot of natural news. So we'll see. And I'm sure a lot of you think natural news is the shit. Maybe, maybe not. But here it's saying that the shots plunged to just 3% effectiveness, yet Biden and CNN authoritarians demand 100% compliance with taking it. A new study is, okay, so information liberation. Millions of Americans are getting fired for not taking a jab that is now 3% effective. Well, shit. Should I just read this one? Let's read this. CNN is reporting that a new study involving over 600,000 veterans has found that the Johnson & Johnson shot protection fell from 88% in March to 3% in August. A study published Thursday reported a steep decline in effectiveness against infection by August of this year, especially for people who received the J&J shot, CNN reported over the weekend. The researchers found that among more than 600,000 veterans, J&J's shot protection fell from 88% in March to 3% in August. As there are no requirements yet that people be triple jabbed or double jabbed in the case of the J&J shot, this means millions of Americans are getting fired for not having taken a shot that is now 3% effective. On the flip side, we know from another Israeli study that shotted individuals have 27 times higher risk of symptomatic sniffle infection compared to those with natural immunity from prior infections, as epidemiologist Mark Goldroff noted. The Israeli study, which was done between June 1st and August 14th, involved only Pfizer recipients. The new study of vets in America showed that Pfizer's effectiveness declined to 50% in August from 91, and Moderna's fell to 64 from 92. Well, I think that the great news of this article is when you go get your shot, make sure you get the Moderna because it's still the highest percentage. But I'm not a doctor. Do your own medical advice research. That suggests natural immunity is now more than 100 times more effective than J&J's shot. Yet the federal government and most companies do not even recognize natural immunity as a justification not to get the shot. They insist you take some experimental jab, any jab at all, now that the FDA has endorsed mixing and matching shots for boosters, or get fired from your job. Meanwhile, the FDA is approving the rollout of boosters despite little to no data showing their effectiveness based off of a gut feeling rather than data. Moderna booster shot backed by FDA advisory panel. It's more of a gut feeling rather than based on a real, true, serious data. You gotta like that. So a new study has found that the J&J shot is now 3% effective. Yeah. I think this is basically the same story. Good news, everybody. Get that Moderna one. Fauci will not get any punishment, mark my words. Yeah, I would tend to agree with you, but boy, maybe it's because I grew up being a Cardinals fan. You know, football Cardinals, Arizona Cardinals, the football team. And back in the 80s and the 90s, last place every year. Absolutely last place. I mean, it's when you'd go to a game, there were more of the other team's fans in the stands than fans of the Cardinals. By a lot. It wasn't even a little bit, right? But I always held out hope. So I'm kind of like that with Fauci. One of these days, just one of these days, it should happen. My skill is driving and shooting. Nice. What up, Chowder Pouch? How you doing? Oh yeah, you had a Kimber. What Kimber did you have again? Because I've been looking at getting one of those Kimber Micro 9s. Either that or is it the Security 9? I'm not sure. But the Micro 9 is like a small 1911, and then they have another 9mm that's a little bit smaller, not by much, that kind of looks like a 1911 but isn't. But I'm thinking about getting one of those for one of the girls in my life. Link that if you can. Sure thing. Oops. Okay, well, that's easy enough to fix. You want this one, I'm guessing? Copy. Hopefully this is not something that's going to get me in trouble. Shouldn't it, though? There you go. I'd like to have the full story. Sure. Yo, Mario. Mario's in here?
That's Chowder Pouch.
Oh, Chowder Pouch. Okay. What a bugs. Hello, Riddle. Semantics has been the game with this in every crisis in the last 40 years. Pretty much. If you catch the flu and beat it your way, less likely to get it again over those who got the flu shot. We know natural immune trumps shots as your body fights off most current mutations. I'd have to agree. I've never got a flu shot. Ever. I've had the flu, I think, 3 times in my life. 3 times. We still talking about cover? They're still talking about cover. Body was built perfectly to fight off disease. Yep. Well, I do believe there are some things that, actual vaccines are great for. What they are exactly, I don't know. But I mean, I understand, at least in a layman term, what a vaccine is. You get the live cells from that, and you kill it, and then you inject the dead cells into somebody, and your body sees those dead cells and attacks them and learns how to combat it. It won't learn it as effective as if those were live cells, obviously, because they'll attack it and they're like, oh, it's dead anyway. Whereas if it's an alive cell, they don't stop until it is dead. So they fight it a lot less, I would imagine. Just layman's term, no medical background at all, but I would imagine your body fights it harder when it's living than when it's dead. My only issue, one of my biggest issues with these other ones that are out now is they don't have the dead cells. It doesn't make any sense why they wouldn't do the dead cells. Couldn't they have just done that? Isn't that what the flu shot is? Isn't the flu shot last year's flu strain that they kill the cells and then inject those dead cells into your body? Isn't that how that we combat the flu? Why couldn't we do that with the sniffles? I don't understand that. There's a question for Fauci. Didn't Kimber also make a micro 1911 style 45? They do have a small 45. They do. But it's for the ladies in my life, so. My mom gets the flu shot, catches the flu every year. I never get the flu. Yeah. And you know what? If your mom has been taking it for a long time, I would imagine if she stopped, it would be a lot worse for her for quite a while, depending on her age, right? Because your body has to build that natural immunity up. On a personal note, I scoff at articles that prove it is impossible to get the flu from a flu shot. The reason the flu shot side effects are yeah. Every damn time. I have friends who get the flu shot. I've talked to people who get the flu shot, and every damn time they get a mild case of the flu. Apparently, they didn't kill all the flu cells in that, and they still get sick. But no, that's apparently false news, and I have to let you know that that is not what the CDC says, right? That's just what friends always told me. I got sick. They probably got the cold, right? Just thought it was, in line when they got their shot. You can't legally list the side effect there isn't a chance the shot will cause. I started carrying my SIG with the state of the world right now. Ooh. More ammo. No, I get it. I had to start carrying the Dan Wesson for a while because I'd hurt my wrist pretty bad, working out. Anyway, the Dan Wesson's just better fit for my hand than the Glock 30. So I was carrying that for a while, but at the same time, yeah, I'm short a lot of ammo. All right. Trump still trying to claim credit for the shots that everybody's clamoring to get a hold of as fast as possible. Absolutely nothing to see here, folks. You gotta love Trump, man. Oh yeah, that's mine. That's totally mine. And if it gets cured, I would have done it better. I'm just saying. And that's what he's saying. The real reason why Donald Trump earned himself the title of the father of the shot, not only does he boastfully call himself this, yes, and he does every time. You know what? I came up with it. Operation Warp Speed. That was me. But Trump continues to tour the media circuit, bragging about how he would successfully convince more people to take the shot if he were still president instead of Joe Biden. Well, sir, I'm glad you're not president right now. You could also convince the ATF to classify a bump stock as a fully automatic. You're also a fan of taking the guns first and due process second. During a recent appearance with Bill O'Reilly, wow, Trump said, "I would sell it to them," referring to his perceived ability to manipulate more unshotted people than Biden ever could into taking the Operation Warp Speed injections. In less than 9 months, Trump went on to boast his administration was able to fast-track 3 different shots for the Wu flu that are now being administered all around the world. Look, I'm very proud of what we did with these shots. It was supposed to take 5 years. Trump added about the production timeline for the shots, and they said it wasn't going to work. I did 3 shots in less than 9 months, and they do work. They work really well. Yeah, they work about 3% right now. According to Trump, there was no talk about the shot mandate while he was still president, and not because his administration did not plan to get everyone injected. No, in Trump's mind, there did not need to be a mandate. Everybody wanted the shot under his rule. No, I didn't. How about you? If Trump was still in office pushing, well, I mean, obviously now we're all going to say no, but who knows? You think this is the one, Riddle? The Ultra Carry two-tone? Yeah. Is that the 9? Oh, that's the 45.
Yeah, that's what he was asking about. Was that micro 45?
I mean, it's a small little guy. But I was looking at the mini, the 9 mil. Now a lot of people don't want it. Trump went on to lament. Trump has never once mentioned adverse events to getting the shot. Trump has yet so much as mentioned the litany of adverse events that have been being reported in conjunction with his shots. Instead, he focuses on trying to take credit for them over Biden. Since the first shot trial, data to be released, came out a week after he lost, Trump's biggest concern right now is Biden will take credit for their production and release instead of him. Trump is about Trump first. That's what it is. Make America great? No, it's make Trump great again. Trump wants the world to know that it is he who funneled billions of American tax-paid dollars into big pharma coffers to produce these shots, making a few select pharmaceutical CEOs very wealthy. Biden, meanwhile, has resorted to threatening unshotted Americans with punishment if they continue to reject Trump's vaccines, which are not Biden's, apparently. Our patience is wearing thin, Biden mumbled during an appearance, and your refusal to get injected has cost us all. Trump and many other Republican politicians are singing much the same tune about these shots, mainly that they are safe and effective and everyone should get them. The only difference between the Republicans and Democrats, at least as far as what they are saying vocally about the jab, is that Republicans would appear to be against the mandates. What good are these empty words, though, when mandates are going to be imposed by the private sector or by the federal government regardless? And let us not forget that there would be nothing to mandate had Trump not warp speed these things through the process. And there would have not been any sniffle shots available for at least another 4 years. Trump was put into place to stoke the prospects of civil unrest, wrote one commentator at Zero Hedge, to further division and hatred, and all according to the plan to destroy America from within. Trump was a false hope, a Trojan horse. Add another agreeing with the statement. Yeah. More related news about Trump's obsession with the shots and wanting to take credit for them can be found at trump.news. He is definitely not your savior. Is he in cahoots with people in order to do that? I don't think so. I think he's just a narcissist. Well, it's just Brennan and me with 1 cat and 5 dogs. Right on. Oh, did he? Did I miss some comments?
Yeah.
The flu shoe always gave me the flu. Now I tell my doctor, let me know when they have an anti-flu shot. Damn, OMG, that just reminded me I left my handgun on the kitchen counter downstairs. For shame. Yeah, gun check. Man, I used to love doing that on the chats. You were probably safer than we are, having to try to remember to never leave my gun anywhere. Trying to get used to it, always having it on my belly band. Well, it's just in my kitchen. I try to have a few firearms in any room. Unfortunately, I don't have that many firearms. So, I mean, we're working on it, but we're also working on other things as well. Oop, apparently I didn't click on whatever I was thinking about over there. Maybe it was the 3%. Maybe it was the food rations to be announced in America following by food riots, civil unrest, Biden regime invoke martial law. Will he not? I don't know. But there's a lot of reports coming out about food. Yeah. In today's analysis, offered both here and in an article format as well, in the Situation Update podcast below, I reveal why food rationing is coming to America, followed by food riots. Here's the thing. You can stock up now, but be careful how you stock up, because once the food does run out, they will be searching for hoarders of food. And if they find you and your hoard of food, they will remove that hoard of food and distribute it to people. And if I had it up here with me, I'd most likely grab my double barrel. Ooh. The only thing I don't like about shotguns in the house is it's a shotgun in the house. And I have a Comrade 12, which is it's a firearm chambered in 12 gauge, which with a 12-inch barrel. That thing is super loud and probably even loud. Oh man, that reminds me, Riddle, can you write this down for me? I need to edit and post those videos from Indiana, or at least for the people on Discord. So if you're on Discord and you want to see a couple videos, I got videos of us talking with guns coast to coast. I've got videos of me and Irish, and I believe his name is Joshua, Black Yeti Bushcraft. He's popped in here a couple times since then. We got some video of us shooting. Not guns. Guns wasn't there long enough to do any shooting. But yeah, I got a few videos that I'm going to edit a little bit, and then I'm going to post on the Discord only. It's going to be an exclusive. So, Bannon warns of psychological warfare as Dems advance to the January 6th witch hunt. Let me just move that over. With a contempt vote looming from partisan House Democrats over a subpoena he ignored, Steve Bannon, former White House chief strategist and host of War Room, warned Americans this week of impending psychological warfare. The first tenet of psychological warfare is to break you to become compliant, to make sure all your actions in the human agency will be futile. Bannon went on to argue that Americans must take steps to protect themselves with the proper tools for this sort of combat. With information, you can be armed to take action in a world gone awry, and that you will never succumb to psychological warfare, which is to break your resistance, which is to make you complicit. Bannon's criticism came Monday while discussing technology on his show with guest journalist Joe Allen. Allen, a contributor to the War Room podcast, writes stories discussing the rise of technology and how that intertwines with humanity. But the message had aptly resonated with his current situation after partisan January 6th commission undertook a fishing expedition to gain intelligence on former President Trump's future political aspirations. Democrats claim that Bannon, who left the White House early in the Trump administration over rumored clashes with other top advisors, continue to have Trump's ear and may have acted as a liaison between the White House and the protest. In the days leading up to the January 6th, on that day itself, Steve Bannon was one of the president's closest advisors, claimed House Intelligence Chair Adam Schiff. He was predicting that all hell was going to break loose on January 6th, so he clearly has relevant information to share with the committee, and we're going to make sure that he does. There's a lot of people saying that. True to form, the two-time House impeachment manager, much of the supposed evidence that Democrats claim to have substantiates their claims has been kept private and appears to be circumstantial. What's up, Irish? How you doing? Oh, there you go with the final warning one. Better for indifference. Okay, well, I took it off for dinner and left it on the counter. Countdown to zero immunity. Well, I did read the one where it's only 3% effective now. Ooh, there we go. I'll read that one. Biden regime has quietly inserted special language into its federal sniffle shot mandate that openly acknowledges the jabs can cause serious adverse effects. You're not allowed to hear about that, though. They shut that down a lot. There was a story a while back, and I was going to click on it, and then I forgot to click on it, but there was a kid who died after getting the shot a few days later, and he was wanting to get back into playing, I think it was football, but it could have been soccer. Sports. He wanted to get back into playing sports at school. He's a kid, and he took it and died. Did it kill him, or did something else kill him? I don't know, but you're not even allowed to report it from OSHA, or no, is it OSHA? Yeah, I think it's OSHA's own website saying that they're not going to report or ask employers to report any adverse effects from getting the shot because they don't want to take away anybody's thought of getting it. You know, we don't want to discourage anybody from getting it, so we're just not going to say what the side effects are. My goodness, can you imagine a good attorney. Like, who would you even go after? Would you go after the president? Would you go after the United States itself as a corporation? Would you go after Fauci? Who would you go after? Trump? But I mean, there are side effects, most likely, because there's side effects to almost everything in life, but you don't hear about it. Blood clots was the only thing we heard about, and boy, they quashed that quick. Yeah, we don't eat a lot. KTA? What's up, Tone? How you doing? Riddle, Tony the Fisherman. Yeah, I seen you fishing. Running the fireplace already being... Oh, man, it's already cold there? Find it interesting the shot causes symptom. Yeah, don't know about that. Brenda gave in and turned on the heat last night. It's been lovely around me. Though said mandate has not yet been officially decreed by China Joe, his regime is ready to authorize the payout of damages to those who take the shots under duress and develop deadly blood clots, for instance. According to reports, this compensation clause is buried deep within documents that were published as part of the Division of Federal Employees Compensation Bulletin that was issued in early October. On September 9th, 2021, President Biden issued an executive order mandating shots for most federal employees. The order directed each agency to implement a program to require the shot for all of its employees, with exceptions only as required by law. The Federal Employees Compensation Act, the document goes on to explain, covers injuries that occur in the performance of duty, and while the FECA does not normally authorize the provision of preventive measures such as shots and inoculations, this is the responsibility of the employee agency under the provision of 5 U.S.C. 7901. It goes on to explain, however, care can be authorized by OWCP for complications of preventive measures which are provided or sponsored by the agency, such as adverse reactions to prophylactic immunization, it further adds. Whenever medical services that are furnished by an employing establishment causes delirious effects, affected employees are covered by the provisions of the FECA. With Fauci's flu shots soon to be mandated by Biden, the language has been updated to emphasize that medical services required by employing establishment will also be covered in the event that if they harm an employee. The executive order now makes the sniffle shot a requirement for most federal employment. The FECA bulletin states again, referring to the Chinese sniffles injections as preventative, where there is no evidence out there to prove it. Well, it was, apparently, but now it's like 3%. As such, employees impacted by this mandate who receive and require the sniffle shot on or after the date of executive order may be afforded coverage under the FECA for any adverse reactions to the shot itself and for any injuries sustained while obtaining the shot. Keep that in mind, these provisions only apply to people who are injured after being forced or coerced into taking an Operational Warp Speed shot. Those who become injured or die after voluntarily getting the jab will not be covered. There is an entire claims process within the FECA literature that injured employees who took the jab under duress must follow if they hope to be reimbursed, as well as receive continuation of pay if they're no longer able to work. When a claim is received for injury due to receipt of the sniffle shot, the claim examiner should determine if the shot was received prior to September 9th, 2021. 2021. The document states, if the vaccine, was received prior to this date, coverage is afforded only if the shot was administered or sponsored by an employing agency. Back in December, CNBC made it clear that the general public cannot sue Pfizer or Moderna if they develop severe sniffle side effects. That same fake news network added that the government won't likely compensate you for your damages either. The Biden administration recognized the serious side effects could lead to damages that need to be compensated because of the federal shot mandate, but denial of civil litigation as a recourse for civilians illustrates just another two-tier system of justice. Shots for you, but not for them. All right, I'm not going to read them all because you guys blowing me up. I do love a good warm fire. Brenda gave... Okay, still not cold enough to light the wood stove. Not too cold, just cleaned her out. Want to make sure it's good. Hell yeah. Love my wood stove. Absolutely loved my wood stove, bro. And it would warm up the entire house. It was an older one, but it was my first ever wood stove. It was great. We were in the 40s at night. What up? What up, East Texas Outlaws? What's up, cuz? 2 nights in a row? Yeah. Thank you. Fireplace picks up the morale on the reservation. Yeah. We did that when we were in Texas it was last year. Yeah, last year. Was it last year? I think it was last year. It was this year, wasn't it? March? When we were in Texas, we had a fire almost every night. And then when I was in Indiana, we did too. Absolutely love it. Absolutely. Nothing better than sitting around a fire, having a couple beers, or just bullshitting. Hell yeah, let's go, Brandon. Well, the wood stove is in our living room that's just under my bedroom, and heat rises. If it's a low 30, then it's quick fire, takes the chill off fast. I wouldn't imagine you need much if you're not that cold yet. Laptop emails link Hunter Biden to Russian oligarch raided by the FBI. I don't think anything's going to come of this, so I'm not going to read a lot of it. But Hunter Biden tied to the industrial giant Alcoa to pay him $25,000 to $55,000 for information about Russian oligarch Oleg Derpakaska, who was the subject of an FBI raid earlier this week. The president's son said he could provide Alcoa, a giant U.S. aluminum firm, with knowledge about the elite networks connected to Oleg in a proposal from his company, Rosemont Seneca. Emails on Hunter laptop shows. FBI's agents this week raided a house occupied by Derpakaska in the Embassy Row section of Washington, D.C., in what the agency described as a law enforcement activity. The searches are being carried out on the basis of 2 court orders connected to U.S. sanctions. Spokeswoman for Derpakaska said, according to NBC News, the house do not belong to him. He was sanctioned by the U.S. Treasury Department, citing a range of maligning activity over the world. So he'll go down, but will Hunter? He's been investigated for money laundering and has been accused of threatening the lives of business rivals, illegally wiretapping government official, and taking part in extortion and racketeering, says the Treasury Department in a press release. There's also allegations that Derpakaska bribed the government official, ordered the murder of a businessman, and had links to a Russian organized crime group. Guess I will read it all. The Hunter Biden emails were written in June 2011. According to the New York Post, the appearance and influence peddling is just the latest takedown of the Biden's family. Among the scandals already documented are deals with China and Ukraine, both which have strong implications for America's national security and foreign policy. Last month, the uber-liberal Atlantic denounced such influence peddling amongst politicians and their families as perfectly legal, socially acceptable corruption. How do we convince ourselves it's not corruption? Asked Atlantic writer Sarah Chase. Impeachment alone will not end our nation's calamity, she continued. If we want to help our country heal, we must start holding ourselves, our friends, our allies, and not just our enemies to its higher standards. Agreed. You have to have equal protection and equal enforcement under the law for everybody, no matter who you are. Whether you're just some guy on the internet, or whether you're the president of the United States, or his son, or Hillary Clinton. The problem is, a lot of powerful people have dirt on a lot of other powerful people. And nobody is going to push they're going to help. They're actually not going to say anything. They're going to actively try to help you out because you're going to help them out if it ever comes to their door. Those are some ride and die bitches. Tell you what, all news is bullshit. Kick yourself out of society before they can kick you out. Well, I still want to know what's going on. This news is sponsored by Pfizer. Allegations shocked. I tell you, shocked. When the sun is out this time of year, the sun keeps up about 15 degrees higher. The furnace temp is set so the heat doesn't run until around 9 at night. Nice. You got your heat. Well, is it a stove that's on a timer, or is it just a heater on a timer? So I've seen a heater on a timer. I've never seen a wood stove on a timer. I'm not saying it doesn't exist. You don't get up with the news at all, Tone? You just out there living life? I mean, it's nice, but you should know that they're expanding the ATF, right? So, yeah. I mean, you can... I get it. I do get it, though. Unplugging from what's going on in the world, oh, it's nice. It is really nice. And that's why I only dedicate an hour of it to the night, you know. That's about all I can take nowadays. But the main thing, the great thing about it is I just get to hang out. Like if I was just talking for an hour at night, what would we talk about? Have no idea. Need something to talk about. China cancels the NBA Celtics after star calls out brutal dictator. That's a no-go. You can't do that. I'm sure he'll apologize, and so will the entire NBA, because China is a huge market, and we can't piss them off because they're the ones that pay our bills. In fact, a lot of NBA teams are almost owned. I wouldn't say they're owned, but they're definitely influenced a lot by the money that China provides them. Enes Kanter, I guess is his name, and his team record with the Boston Celtics have been canceled by China following a Twitter post where the 6'10" center called Chinese president a brutal dictator. Tibet belongs to the Tibetan people. Under the Chinese government brutal rule, Tibetan people's basic rights and freedoms are non-existent. The peaceful Buddhist country of Tibet was invaded by Communist China in 1949. Since that time, over 1.2 million Tibetans have been killed, over 6,000 monasteries have been destroyed, and thousands of Tibetans have been in prison. Kanter is a Turkish national born in Switzerland who practices Islam. Shortly after his tweet went live, Tencent, which owns pretty much everything on your phone, especially video games, which distributes NBA games in China, made Celtics highlights and live streaming of Celtic games unavailable. Tencent paid the NBA a reported $1.5 billion. China paid the NBA a reported $1.5 billion in 2019 for the right to broadcast basketball games in China, but the deal immediately ran into trouble over the Houston Rockets general manager's tweet in support of Hong Kong's anti-government protesters. Subsequently, all NBA games were banned from broadcasting in China for a year. The current dust-up with Kanter only serves to highlight the difficult relationship that the NBA, which likes to virtue signal about human rights, has with a dictatorship that cares about neither human rights or money. That always surprised me too. Not only do you see movie actors speaking out against human trafficking, about rights for women, and rights for minorities, right? You have sporting teams taking a knee for the black man out there and raising a fist during the national anthem. You can't do that. Or you can do all that, but once you start talking bad about China, you can't do that. I always thought that was bullshit. Camel toes are real, not fake news. Well, there's one in the White House. The boiler thermostat, all right. LMAO. He's so are moose knuckles. In Mandarin, Birch Arsasina. Are you talking about Cena being a bitch? I'm beginning to think the media has not been honest. Probably not. So Trump's launching his own social media platform called Truth Social, I guess. 9 months after being expelled from social media for his role of inciting the January 6th event, President Trump said Wednesday he's launching a new media company that will soon, with his own social media platform, Trump said his goal in launching the Trump Media and Technology Group and its Truth Social app is to create a rival to the big tech companies that have shut him out and denied him the megaphone that was paramount to his national rise. We live in a world where the Taliban has a huge presence on Twitter, yet your favorite American president has been silenced. Narcissistic. This is unacceptable. It comes, however, as experts say Trump would not need traditional social media to succeed in the 2024 run due to his firmly entrenched base of support and growing disaffection with Democrat during the Biden administration. You know, all those chants at the local sporting events. Let's go, Brandon. Despite authoritarian censorship efforts, conservative voices actually do well on traditional social media. On Wednesday, half of Facebook's 10 top performing link posts were from conservative media commentators or politicians, according to the daily list compiled by the New York Times. Trump has spoken about launching his own social media ever since he was barred from Twitter and Facebook. An earlier effort to launch a blog on his existing website was abandoned. TMTG has now set its sights low, in addition to the Truth Social app, which is expected to soft launch next month. That's pretty soon. With a nationwide rollout earlier next year, the company says it's planning in a video-on-demand service dubbed TMTG Plus that will feature entertainment, programming, news, and podcasts. I hope he has a live streaming thing, because I would love to go on there and talk about how crappy Trump was on his own damn thing. Don't say it ain't so. Oh, shit. Irish already got the link for it. Follow the truth. Truth Social is America's big tent social media platform that encourages an open, free, honest, global conversation without discriminating against political ideology. Join the waiting list. All right. I might have to do that. It's going to be on the Apple App Store. For how long? I hope that they are already figuring out that Apple's going to remove that. Yeah, countdown to zero immunity. Shot victims are seeing their immune response drop to about 5% each week, with long-term consequences mirroring AIDS. Bombshell report published by the Expose is entitled "A Comparison of Official Government Reports Suggesting the Fully Shotted Are Developing Acquired Immunodeficiency Syndrome." Since this is being instigated by a shot injection, I'm calling it injected... I'm not going to try to read that again. Or AIDS instead of AIDS. As the expose explains, following a detailed analysis of the UK PHE shot surveillance data, latest UK PHE shot surveillance reports figures on sniffle cases showing that doubly shotted 40 to 70-year-olds have lost 40% of their immune system compared to unshotted people. So you're 40% less protected against normal, everyday sicknesses and diseases. Their immune systems are deteriorating around 5% per week, between 2.7 and 8.7. If this continues, then 30 to 50-year-olds will have 100% immune system degeneration, zero viral defense by Christmas, and all doubly shotted people over 30 will have lost their immune systems by March of next year. According to the trend described by the current data, as the expose adds. Is this why they're trying to get you to get that jab as soon as possible? And forcing you out of your job? Do they know this is happening? I'm sure they are, that the side effects are being reported to somebody. Somebody knows about all the side effects going on to this. And eventually it will come out. When it does, it's going to be a bombshell. There's going to be a lot of people pissed. I guess they're just trying to get as many in there as possible. Who knows? Booster shots further accelerate the destruction of the immune system, which explains why 90% of hospital admissions in at least one U.S. hospital, I did read that story, were among shotted individuals. 90%. Yeah, 90% of the people coming into that hospital, I don't remember where it was, but 90% of the people coming in with the sniffles have already gotten their shots. If the trend holds true, next 6 months we'll see a global wave of shot victims dying from cancer and common infections. Yeah. So be careful out there. Even if millions of Americans die over the next 6 months and hospitals are completely overrun, Cerveza shot will never be tied to any shots whatsoever. You don't think so? I think I think you got a lot of Republicans right now that want to say that they're against it, but won't because they're fearing the backlash. Because there are a lot of Republicans that went ahead and got it because it was Trump's, right? But at some point, I think that might change. I'm a he, so you can't judge me. Okay. I try not to judge people. The plugging immune response among shot victims means that fatalities from cancer and from common infections such as winter colds and flus are set to skyrocket. I think that repealing Smith-Mundt was not for the benefit of the American people. There was no way that the news is legally just entertainment. I don't know of Smith v. Mundt. I did read the, hold on. Okay, well, there's a read. I'm a shishi, 2X chromosomes. Even if millions are in that. Just a joke. You're probably right. Pharma-funded media will make sure of that. Yeah. Well, you won't hear. Well, you did hear about it going down. I don't know if they actually said 3% on CNN, but it plunges to 3% effectiveness, and that was reported. CNN reported that this steep decline in shot effectiveness occurred around August, especially for people who received the J&J shot. The implication here is that the other jabs from the Chinese shots also saw declines, and then they go over that. But I already went over that, so if you couldn't see that because I'm not on that screen, but I was rereading it. If you want to hear about that, rewind the episode. My sister and her son is gay, so I can say what I want to. Huh? Your sister and her son? Okay. Yeah, go right ahead. Well, they can't help it. They're dead. Yeah. Hey, man, you do you, right? I don't judge anybody on that. Now, if you want to teach my kid with Drag Queen Story Hour, I'm going to have an issue with that. But also, if I had a kid of that age, he wouldn't be in school. I'd be homeschooling them right about now. They made it pretty easy. It's mostly online. You just got to make sure they're doing their homework. It's not like you have to sit there all day long, be their teacher. They have teachers online, and you can be there if you want or not be there if you want. But I don't know. I wish I had homeschooled my kid, looking back on it. But I didn't. So it is what it is. I sent her to a Christian private school, which probably was better than a public high school, but who knows? Every testicle knows that YX and XX chromosome thing is fake news. It's not real. No. Gender is it's not a construct, right? It's an identity. So you can be whatever you want. That's why I always relate to ammosexual, right? I love ammo. I'd swim in it if I could. I mean, the 50 cal is about the right size. Yeah. Now we're just having fun. So let me show you this flag. I shouldn't, but I'm going to. Where did I put it? Right here. All right. This one. Isn't that cool? It's $50. It's pretty up there, but it is, relatively decently made. Looks like it. 3x5 heavyweight polyester indoor-outdoor. Double-sided construction, stars and stripes on both sides, embroidered stars, black stitching for minimal contrast, canvas header, brass grommets. So there you go. Want to show how patriotic I am. All right, guys, that's all I got for you this evening. Check out the links down below if this is your first time watching. Probably not, so I'll just quickly go over them. Causes I believe in and support. ways to donate to the channel if you want to, all the places to follow me, affiliate links if you want some cool stuff that I've personally bought and I think is worth buying is down there as well. And my good friend Rally Point Irish USMC vet has Rally Point Irish. So if you do donate to the channel, I've made it apparent that I'm donating 50% of all money received to this channel directly to Rally Point Irish. If you're interested in Rally Point Irish, that's Irish is trying to get some land in Tennessee where he can then build a facility where veterans can stay and live room and board free while learning new skills like blacksmithing, gunsmithing, farming, and other technical stuff that Riddle was signed up for that I don't even know about. So that's where 50% of all proceeds of this channel go to. So just know that if you decide to donate. Is that the new BLM flag? It might be. I could put a BLM on it. Riddle's explaining it. Wait, Bikes. Let Riddle explain what it is to you.
Just in case there's other dummies like me.
All right.
Assuming anything about anybody.
No. All right. So those are all the links down below. No, I was having fun with it too, Bikes. I thought that was hilarious. I had always heard about it. I didn't know it was an actual American flag though. This company has other ones too. They have a Texas one. They have a Betsy Ross one, with the circle of stars. And I don't think they have any other ones. I wish they had other state ones. They do have a camouflage flag. I don't know why they just have a Texas one. Like, if you're going to do Texas, do other states too, Anyway. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to head out. I will be back tomorrow for the Friday edition. Reminder, we probably won't have a Patriot Bible chat this Saturday because I'm going to be taking a good friend of mine out to dinner and having a great conversation with him, most likely. So until I see you tomorrow, make sure to keep that family close. Watch out for that government. Try to live as free as you can in this world. And I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.